Mixologiste. Pour moi, c'est un terme un peu compliqué, ça veut dire un peu génie des cocktails et de tout ce qui est spiritueux. Mais c'est beaucoup plus que ça. C'est quelqu'un qui arrive à trouver l'équilibre entre les saveurs et à faire passer un super gros message à travers ces cocktails et de rendre un peu des trucs personnalisés. Donc que ce soit Joao pouvoir Joao va pouvoir vous passer son savoir en tant que mixologiste et il va vous apprendre à faire quelques cocktails et il va aussi vous présenter lors de la mixologie. Donc je passe la parole à Joao qui va parler lui en anglais pendant la soirée. Merci.
Welcome Joao. As she mentioned, I'll be speaking in English. Unfortunately, my French is not there yet, so I feel more comfortable in English. So again, I'm gonna do a quick introduction about cocktail history. I'm gonna do 20 minutes of presentation talking about 200 years of history of mixing drinks. Okay, can you start with the first? Okay, so here in this picture you can notice a very vintage picture from the 1860s. The punches. Punches were the first type of mixing drinks. Okay, what is punch? Punch is a word that coming from Hindi. It's actually mean 5. Okay, because that's how was the recipe back in the day of punch. 5 ingredients. Alcohol, any type of alcohol, usually back in the day was rum, sugar, water, lemon juice, and either tea or spices. Okay, so this was the early version of punch. Also, you need to keep in mind, punches back in the day was without ice. We got ice just in the early 1800s. Okay, so punches sometimes also was served warm as a drink. Punch was a style drink for share, for meeting, for when you have friends and so on. Was not cocktail yet. The first definition of cocktail has been found in 1806 in America in a newspaper. And the first definition of cocktail is alcohol, bitter, water, and sugar. Very simple, very, very simple. And cocktail was not what is nowadays. Cocktail was a style drink. Okay, anything that you mix with bitter and sugar was called cocktail. I can go to the next. Okay, so here a little bit what I just mentioned in early 18th. And also in that century, a big thing happening. In 1862, a bartender called Jerry Thomas, which is for bartenders like the Michael Jordan in basketball. Okay, so this guy he did something very important for the history of cocktail in 1862. He published a cocktail book. So the oldest cocktail book was published in 1862 and was called the Bon Vivant, How to Mix Drinks. Jerry Thomas in the middle of 18th as a bartender used to earn like the vice president of America. So be a bartender in the time is like to be a rock star. It really it was really a celebrity. It was a flair bartender, mixology, a little bit of everything. But why was seen like a celebrity? Well, back in the day, be a bartender was not like now. You just go behind the bar, you have all these ingredients, just mix it together. Back in the day, as a bartender, you need to do your own soda, you need to do your tonic. You don't have a supermarket in the 1800s. You had to do everything on your own. So in this kind of book, we have recipe how to make homemade liquors, how to make soda, tonic, and other ingredients that we kind of lost, like shrub, which is a style of syrup with vinegar, which help to conserve longer their syrup, but also add more complexity in a drink. We can go for the next one. As you see here, this is a page of the book with some liquor, syrup, and so on. And nowadays, a lot of bartenders looking to the past, you know, because really, if you want to advance in something, you need to understand what's been done in the past. So, including myself, while I was in Hong Kong, I did invest some money in a vintage book, Italian books, because, well, I speak Italian and Portuguese, that's the language I feel more comfortable. And Italy is a well-known country for the creation of liquors, vermouths, and so on and on. So I get a book from the 1915, and I recreate a recipe of vermouth. You can go ahead. And this is the label, okay? I recreate a very small quantity, 50 stocks. It was more like for experiment. And the result was amazing. In terms of tasting, the guest was like, wow. I had people approach me to make it, start to produce this vermouth. I didn't go ahead for one simple reason, because of the cost. Because I was doing vermouth how it used to be back in the day. That's mean with real ingredients, fresh ingredients. Nowadays, vermouths or liquors, they are not doing like that. We can easily make, let's say, you can go into the supermarket, you have essence with different flavor, you mix it with alcohol, some water, the job is done. Back in the day, it wasn't like that. There was much more sophistication, and we are using fresh ingredients. That's why quality back in the day was very, very high compared to compared like 10 years ago. Now slowly the things are changing. You can go to the next one. Another important time in the cocktail history was in the 1920s, when in America they decided to ban alcohol everywhere. The country went dry. Why? Because there was a lot of issue with alcohol, and the economy was going down and so on. So they were saying the reason was the alcohol. You had ladies, you know, I don't know if you can read here. Lips that touch liquor will not touch ours. Then you have men upstairs, we want beer, fighting for their right. And on the other hand, you have people, the great moonshine. What was the moonshine? Was people making alcohol on the light of the moon. Of course, it was illegal, you know, but like everything that is illegal, people want even more and more. That's where they start Speakeasy Bar. What is a speakeasy bar? Is a hidden bar, which is a big trend in big cities like London, New York, Miami, and so on. Before going ahead, yeah, I was mentioning about the book. Actually, I bought it. This is a book, Italian book from the 1950s that I use for research. If you guys want to have a look after, so you can see some recipe, how it was back in the day, to make cocktails, homemade ingredients, and so on and on. It's very simple. Yes, next one. Okay, in the 1930s was another important era for cocktails. In those days, a lot of Americans, they were based in Polynesian islands, like Hawaii, like Guam. And once they're going back home, they want to bring back the island feeling, the Polynesian island feeling. So they start to create bars, concept bars, tiki style. So what's tiki cocktails? A lot of fruit juice and rum. Serving the style of drinks. So we'll be serving soon some tiki cocktails for you guys. The bartenders are working on it. Next one. Okay, so I just want to mention a little bit of some story about a specific bar in Italy. Yeah. We're talking about the Harry's Bar in Venice. Harry's Bar in Venice is a well-known bar which was opened by Cipriani. Who was Cipriani? Cipriani was a bartender working in a very well-known hotel in Venice. And he had a regular guest, an American guy that used to come quite often. And one day, he just stopped suddenly. And after a week, he met the guy on the street, was struggling. Cipriani helped him. He didn't have money to go back to America. He gave him money. After 5 years, this guy went back to looking for Cipriani. The guy was a millionaire. He gave him money to open up his own bar. The guy's name was Harry's. That's why the bar is Harry's Bar. It's a historical bar in Italy. That's where the Bellini cocktail was being created. Bellini is a very simple drink with no champagne but prosecco and white peach puree. We can go ahead with the next one. Disco era. So we're going a little bit quicker. Here we're talking about the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. So this was an important time as well. But the way we're drinking in this year was focused more on the quantity, focus on making money. Everything was coming from soda gun. I used to work in America in the early 2000s, and we have margarita mix on the soda gun, so just put tequila. Everything remained. So the quality was very, very low. It was more about speed and not about the quality. Another important era in that time is flair bartending. Yeah, I can go to the next one. Yes, flair bartending, which is also art, is a way to entertain. Yeah, I was thinking to put a video for you about flaring, but I said, no, I'm gonna do a bit of flaring for you guys. I think it's more, yeah. DJ, quick demonstration about flaring. As a bartender, I've been focused on flaring for about, let's say, 10 years. I've been competing. Sorry, guys. I've been competing in international competition. I've been ranked in the top 8 in 2008 while I was living in Vegas. The problem with flaring, it takes a lot of practice. I used to practice something like 10 to 12 hours a day while I was doing competition. Not just throwing bottles 10, 12 hours, but working on my music, focus on different moves, speed round, because the competition was not just about throwing the bottle, but also speed, about accuracy on the drink, so it takes a lot of training. If you're just doing that at the international level, that should be your job. Next one. Next one. So this is a so this is a bad flair bartender, because like one of the things that you learn when you're doing flaring, you perform in front of guests, especially behind the bar, when you feel confident. The problem with flaring, a lot of young guys, they just wanted to show off without having the skill yet. And that's happened a lot of accidents. As a bar manager, you see a bartender breaking bottles, like you're gonna have some concern, right? You can go ahead. So this is an example. No, a video, yes. Okay, so now we're talking about flavor, about cocktail, how to create your own cocktail. So here we have two maps that's very important for you to understand. To understand about cocktail, you need to understand about flavor. You need to understand what kind of flavor you get in your mouth. The second map is more about the spirits, about dark spirits, because you do have some flavor that come from the barrel, which is will be the dark one. And this one is come from the type of alcohol that we distill it. The alcohol, like fruity notes that come from the ester, which is a compound. So from the barrel you have with the flavor, like the main one is vanilla, okay? And then you have another one like honey, buttery, nuts. Sherry and bourbon, it depends on the type of barrel you're using. If before there was bourbon and sherry and so on. Yes, next one. Also, when you make a drink, you have different technique. You have shaking, you have stirring, you have throwing. Throwing is actually a very old way of mixing drink that now is getting back. Again, because people look how people used to make drinks back in the day. Back in the day, you have two pieces. So you're making drink, you just put it from one side to the other one. Then at certain point, someone realized, oh, this one can fit. And that's how they start shaking, okay? But what's the difference when you shake, when you stir, and when you're throwing? Well, when you're shaking a drink, you tend to shake when you use ingredients that is very hard to mix together. We're talking about syrup, okay, concentrate flavor, you know, like puree, like puree. Those kind of ingredients or herbs as well, you want to shake it to open up the flavor and to mix them well together. If you have just a few ingredients, let's say a Negroni, cocktail like a Negroni, very simple, Campari, Tanqueray, and sweet vermouth. You just mix it together. It's very easy to manage them together. And the drawing works very well with drinks like a Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary, you don't want to shake because you're going to open up big bubbles. You don't want that, and also going to give you a lot of dilution. If you're stirring, it's very hard to stir because of the salt and some of the sauce that you use. So the best way would be the drawing technique. Next one. Okay, some basic rules about shaking. Keep in mind you cannot put everything in a shaker. Go ahead. Very important. So that's what could happen if you try to put Coca-Cola or any sparkling in your shaker. Okay, so as a basic rule, sparkling drink you just add after shaking to avoid this kind of experience. So the next one, here's a little bit of guidance how to build your own cocktail. Okay, so keep in mind, of course, you get spirit. Then you have dilution. The dilutions come from the ice, okay? Here we have the sour. So in the picture we have lemon and lime. But when you're talking about sour, it's more than that, okay? You can use, for example, you can use pamplemousse as well. Myself, what I used to do, I used to mix, to mélanger different type of sour. You know, like lime and pamplemousse. Why? Lime is very acidic. Grapefruit has a good flavor. Okay, so I combine them together for extra complexity. Sweet. Sweet can be syrup. Syrup, it's very easy to make syrup. You just need white sugar, water, and you add some flavor, and you slow cooking for about 20 minutes, and you can make your own syrup. So it can be any type. When you're talking about sugar, you have white sugar, but there are so much more type of sweetness. Like here, I have agave, and I have a few other syrups as well that I'm gonna guide you guys through after. Then modifying agent. So nowadays we have so many options in terms of liquors that you can play around. So this is a shrub, you know, like shrub it's a very old ingredient for cocktail. It's a syrup with vinegar. We can try after to play around with that as well. Yeah. Okay, so are you guys ready with the drinks there? Ready? Yeah. Can you pass it on? So we have some cocktails for you guys. Meanwhile, yeah, you can go ahead. Meanwhile, keep calm and have a cocktail. Okay, so I'm gonna take one of you as I don't know how to say, as a caveat to start to make your own drink. Okay, I think you're gonna pick. Yes, please. Okay. Bourbon. If you're going to use a dark spirit, so it work well. Bitters, ingredients like chestnut, like nuts, work very well. Otherwise, if you're gonna go for white spirit, you can do something more fresh, like fresh mint, or even cucumber, or so on. Think in mind this rule, like 2 for spirit, 1 for sour, and 1 for sweet, to build your drink. Okay? As a rule, but of course every rule has its own variants. But base yourself on that, and then I help you. I guide you. Okay? Okay. So what to like? Well, I'm a big fan of gin, more than vodka, because why? When you use some gin, when you use gin, it actually has its own flavor, its complexity. Vodka is more like neutral; it doesn't have too much flavor. So using gin, you can play around with all these flavors. Okay, let's play around. Yes. Okay. Gin. What next?
And then something fresh.
something fresh, so you have the strong, and then it's sweet and sour. Okay?
With gin and use tonic?
Tonic, you want to put in the shaker. You see the video, right?
What's this?
Okay, this is lemon juice. Lemon juice, cucumber syrup, orange, and grapefruit. This is egg white.
So cucumber and
Syrup and lemon juice. You want to combine them? Okay. Cool. Okay, so you're gonna pour. Go ahead. You can put on the first one. Go ahead, inside. So now, no, you can leave it here. So now you're gonna go with the cucumber. So you can put cucumber and lemon juice this time around. You can use again on the second line.
same for each.
Yeah.
On the other side. Same.
Okay, so what you can do, so it's always a good habit when you're making a drink for the first time, before you add ice and shaking, taste. So you can mix it a bit to the straw, okay? Then you hold the liquid like this. You know how to do that, right? Okay. And you taste it. And then you see how it is. If it's too sour, too sweet, and then you can adjust. Don't put that. Well, I mean, it's gonna be your thing. What do you think?
A little bit sour.
So it will be sour. So you can have a little bit more of the cucumber.
One on the first one.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yep. Yeah, you can use this kind of your drink anyway. Better, or is too sour still? I mean, it's your drink, so it should be based on your palate. Maybe you want to add a bit of agave.
Yeah. So this in there as well. Like one?
Yeah. Yeah. So add a little bit more. So add ice.
How much?
It's a good amount, like a lot.
Four?
Yep. So when you shake it, you close it like this, and you hit it. You know how to shake? Okay. So it's very important you hold it. Like this. Okay. So because if you hold it like this, it's easier to stick. If you hold it like this, then back and forth. Okay. Back and forth. Okay. So you swap around. Yeah. Then you need to hold your hand here. Then you hit it here. Yeah. Harder. Yeah. There you go. And you pour the glass. Okay. Yeah, you can taste it now. See how it is. Yeah. Yeah, it's very good.
Exactly, margarita.
Refreshing. Oh.